For these problems, try to keep it as simple as I can. It says we're supposed to look at these shapes and then decide which ones are similar, and that's what's asking here. So you just need to look at, you're going to look at Z and U, Z and U, and decide if they're similar. Ways to decide. This is 4, and this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4 by 6. This one's going to be 1 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1 by 6. You have to decide if those are similar. Then check U and T, and then check X and Y, and then check Y and W. And when you do triangles, you look, the height is going to be the one that's at 90 degrees. So that's going to be the height, and then you measure it against this one. Check to find out if they're in proportion, if they look alike, if their angles are the same, or in here, if you're guessing they're the same. Then you just circle which one. Then it asks you to find another pair of similar ones. So you just write out, just label those, another one. This one, you're just making a new one. If this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is, it's how tall it is, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you have a 4 by 6 triangle. You just need to make a triangle that's going to be similar to that. You need to make a rectangle that's going to be similar to this one. They can't be the exact same. Remember, they have to be in proportion. Looking at the questions from below, the first one's draw a similar one to the rectangle. The second one, you can do it up here. Draw a similar one to the triangle. And then this one, how do you know they're similar? You know the three things that you have. On number 8, pretend it's the WUMPs. It says write a rule for finding coordinates on figure B. This is figure B. Getting it from figure A. So let's say this is Mug, and this is Zug, or whoever's similar. And just say, how do you go from this point to this one? How do you get from this point to this one? Well, if this is 5, and this is 7.5, how do you get from 5 to 7.5? You just have to figure that out. How do you get from 4 to 6? So what do you do to this side? The x's. The x is how many times bigger on this one? In Zug, I think it was 3x, 3y. The ones that weren't, there might have been a 2x, 2y. Those were similar WUMPs. You're just pretending this is a WUMP and this is a WUMP, and what do you do to the x and what do you do to the y to get it over here? Because this is 4, this is 6. For the y, this is 1. Oh, and this is 1.5. So all you have to do is find out what it is, what the rule is. That's all. That's all. Second question. Now, it just wants you to go from this one to this one. So remember, in similar ones, if it was the scale factor was 2 from one to the other, scale factor was 2. From the other one to this one, what's the scale factor? 1/2. They just want you to find the rule, what you do to the x and the y to go from this one to this one. I'll give you a hint. It can be a fraction or a decimal. This one is bigger than this one. Just ask the scale factor from this one to this one. Yes, what's the scale factor? Obviously, it's going to be whatever numbers these are. And then it asks, what's the scale factor the other way? It's what are those numbers there? I think you're making this a little harder than you need to on it, okay? So don't get confused so much by the wording. You don't even have to make it. They just want you to think about it. What if there was a figure C, but the rule was 2x, 2y? what would these points be? They're just going to be twice as much as like the mug. We did 2x and 2y for mug. That's all it's asking. And then how is the scale factor? Well, if it's 2x, 2y, you know what the scale factor is going to be between A and C. Then it asks you to go the other way. Well, if the scale factor is this one, going the one way, if it was 5, the other way it's going to be 1/5. It's just asking you, what's the scale factor from the small one to the big one? Then what's the scale factor from the big one to the small one? We've been doing that in class. Then use the scale factor to describe the perimeter. We did that too. Jacob told us about the area, what happens with the area, and you guys know what happens with the perimeter based on the scale factor. Then write a coordinate rule that can be used to find the coordinates of any point on A from C. And looks like they already told us that. So it's just 2x and 2y. I have no why they would ask that same question. Okay, I just gave you that one. For number 11, it says, study the polygons below, which pairs seem to be similar figures. So you just have to decide which ones are similar. So if these two are similar, and I tell you straight up they're not, then all you have to do is put that in, and you would write the scale factor. And I'm going to give you a hint, or just a warning. These are not similar. I'm using it just as an example. So find it from there, and then back what the scale factor would be from one to the other. That's all you have to do. You just have to draw them. In B, where it says, for each pair of similar figures, list the corresponding sides and the angles. I'll say you don't have to do that because you're going to know that this times 2 times 2 is 4, and then if this was similar, it would be, let's see, it would be like 4 times 2 would be 8. Those types of things, okay? So you're going to know that. It's not a big deal. And it says estimate the scale factor. You'll show that with this. All right? Don't make it more difficult than it is. Get working on this. Make sure you submit it. It's due by 2 o'clock today.